Okay, we're going to be working on factoring quadratics by grouping. This is in the Mathematics 2. Um, this is in, where's my, there's my pen. This is in Mathematics 2 and in multiplying and factoring. So let's get started. Our first question is to factor quadratics by grouping. Factor the quadratic expression completely. And this is our expression. So what we're going to do is we're going to break these three parts. We're going to have three terms. And we're going to break this second term into two parts. So I'm going to have something that looks like that. And I want the ratio of the coefficients here to be some number, and then the ratio here to be the same number. So let's look at an example here. Let me change my color. So my problem here is negative 3x squared plus 17x minus 20, and I want to break this up into two parts. So, and I have a negative 3 here, and I have a negative 20. So I want some of this 17 to go here, and some of the rest of this 17 to go here. And when I finish, I want this ratio here to equal the same as this ratio here. So I'm going to start looking at something like 4. 4 looks good to me. So actually it's going to be negative 4. So negative 4 times 3 is 12. So I'll have 12x here. And then what's left over after 12x is going to be 5x. And then 5x, 5 times negative 4 is 20. So negative 3 times negative 4 is 12. And negative 5 times negative 4 is 20. So there I can group these two together, and then I'm going to factor out parts of it. So here I'm going to have negative 3x. I'm going to factor that out, and I'm going to be left with x minus 4. Negative 3x times x is negative 3x squared. Negative 3x times negative 4 is positive 12x. And then I'm going to factor out the 5 here, and I'm going to be left with x minus 4 over here, because 5 times x is 5x, and 5 times negative 4 is negative 20. So now I have this common factor. I have this common factor here, and I can factor that out. So I'm going to factor that out and take out x minus 4, and then I'm left with negative 3x plus 5. So there I factored that out. Let's try it again. And I want to change my colors here a little bit. So again, I'm going to have three terms, and I want to divide this middle term up into two terms, and then these first and last terms will stay the same. And I want that ratio here and that ratio here to be the same. So let's see what I've got. I've got 2x squared plus 7x plus 3. So I've got a 3 here. So I'm going to look at times 3. There's not much going on with a 3. So maybe I can set this excuse me, I don't actually want to do it right there. I'm going to divide these two up, and I can set this ratio maybe as equal to 3. Then that will be 1x plus 3. Then what do I have over here? I have this 2x squared, and what's left? 6x. So that 2 and 6, that's also a ratio of 3. So I got the same ratio there. So I'm gonna factor out this 2x here, which is the common factor for there, and I'll get x plus 3. 2x times x is x squared. 2x times 3 is 6x. And I'm going to factor out my 1 here, and I'll have x plus 3 left over. And then I have that common factor of x plus 3, and I'm going to separate that out. I'm going to factor that out. x plus 3, and what I've got left is 2x plus 1. So I'm going to write that in right here, and I'm going to get it right. You will too. Okay, our next problem is going to be that same thing, and we want to break this one up into two parts, and then we're going to leave these two the same, and we want that ratio there to be the same. All right, so I've got 6x squared minus 13x plus 6, and I want to break this up into 6x squared, and 6 is over here. I want to break up this negative 13x into something, and this is going to be a little bit different. This one is not a straight multiplication problem, so I can see that I'm probably going to, it's going to be hard for me to get anything that's multiplied by, let's see, multiplied by 2, then I'll have 3, but 6 times 2 is not 10, okay? So I'm going to start playing around, and actually I'm going to take 4x here, because that looks good to me, and try it out. And so what's my ratio here? My ratio here is 6 to 4, which is 3 to 2. And my ratio here is 9 to 6, which is also 3 to 2. 3 times 3 is 9, and 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 2 is 6, and 2 times 2 is 4. Okay. So, and now I'm going to factor out 3x here. 3x is excuse me, 2x, that's the greatest common factor here. I'm going to factor out 2x, and then I'll have 3x minus 2 left over. 2x times 3x is 6x, and 2x times negative 2 is negative 4x. And then I'm going to factor out 3 here, and then I'll have 3x minus 2 on over here too. Okay, negative 3x times 3x is negative 9x, and negative 3x times negative 3 times negative 2 is 6. So then I'm going to factor out that common factor of 3x minus 2, and I'll have left over 2x minus 3, and I'm going to put that up in there, and I'll get it right. Okay, last one that we're going to do, we're going to have 2x squared minus, isn't that the one I just did? Nope. Okay, 2x squared minus 13x plus 20. Sorry, they're all starting to look a little bit the same. And I want to divide this one up into two parts. Okay, and we're going to have multiplied by the same factor here. So I'm going to start with 2x squared and 20, and I think 4 looks good for me. I'm going to try to see if I can multiply by 4. You just have to kind of test some numbers. You don't really have to worry about it being perfect. So that's, if that's minus 5x, then what's going to be left over is minus 8x, and then we'll have to see, is that the same? Is that the same? I mean, in reality, it's negative 4. But I'm not that worried about this. So we multiply 2x times negative 4, and we get 2 times negative 4, and we get negative 8. We multiply negative 5 times negative 4, and we get 20. So I found the same ratio there. So I'm going to pull out 2x on this side, which is the greatest common factor on these two, and I'll have x minus 4 left over. And I want to take out 5 over here, and I'll have x minus 4 on this side. So I have this x minus 4 as our greatest common factor, so I'm going to pull that out, factor that out. There, and that's my factor by grouping. So I hope that helps you with our problem. You go ahead and do that on Khan, and you should get it pretty quickly.